It was supposed to be a quick weekend getaway, just a few friends looking for an escape from the noise of the city. They rented a small, isolated cabin deep in the woods, far from any town, where the only sounds were the rustling of leaves and the occasional cry of a distant animal. On the first night, as they sat around the campfire telling ghost stories, the wind picked up. The fire flickered, and a strange feeling washed over them. Sarah, the most superstitious of the group, shivered. "We shouldn't be here," she whispered. "Something's not right." The others laughed it off, teasing her about her overactive imagination. But as the night wore on, the laughter faded. Strange noises began to echo from the darkness beyond the trees. Faint whispers, almost like voices, but too low to understand. No one could figure out where they were coming from. Later, when they finally retreated to the cabin, the unease lingered. The place was old, with creaky wooden floors and a draft that made the air feel colder than it should. The only light came from the fireplace and their lanterns. As they settled in for bed, Sarah swore she heard footsteps outside. She woke the others, but when they checked, there was nothing, just the endless trees swaying in the wind. They tried to go back to sleep, but none of them could shake the feeling that something was watching them. The next morning, they found footprints in the dirt, leading from the edge of the woods to the front porch, bare, human-like, but impossibly large. The mood shifted. What had started as a fun trip was turning into something sinister. But leaving wasn't an option. The nearest town was too far to reach without a full day of hiking. They decided to stay one more night, then leave first thing in the morning. That night, the whispers returned, louder this time. They came from all directions, surrounding the cabin. The friends huddled together in the living room, trying to convince each other it was just the wind. But when the whispers grew into soft, mocking laughter, they knew it wasn't. Suddenly, the door rattled. Someone, or something, was trying to get in. The knob twisted back and forth violently. They rushed to barricade the door, piling furniture against it. But then, the windows started shaking. One by one, they all saw it. Figures standing in the trees, barely visible in the moonlight. They were tall, unnaturally thin, with hollow eyes that seemed to glow faintly. "The Silent Ones," Sarah muttered under her breath. She had read about them once, in a local legend. Beings that haunted the forest, drawn to places where fear lived. They never spoke, only watched. And when they came, they never left without taking something, or someone. Hours passed. The figures stayed outside, watching the cabin with their hollow eyes. The friends waited in silence, hearts pounding as the night dragged on. Just before dawn, the whispers stopped, and the figures disappeared into the trees. But when they opened the door to leave, Sarah was gone. Her shoes were still by the fire, her jacket on the chair. There were no signs of struggle, no noise to indicate she had left. Only the faint outline of her footprints leading into the woods.